just in, thunderstorm warning. Brace yourself for Thunderstorm TV9. It'll be a big one.
When you're near me, everything is just so right.
Oh my goodness, what are we even doing here? And why are there lasers behind us? I hate Nevada. Gosh. I mean, Las Vegas was fun, but now we're just lost in this rainy Nevada city. And you know what? I'm glad while I was at that strip mall, I bought this umbrella. I guess it's broken, but so much better.
Can I go under the umbrella?
No, you said that going to the strip mall was a dumb idea. So, no.
What?
You can stay out there in the rain.
But, fine. You read the news first.
All right, fine. Well, you know what? If I get back to Oshkosh in time, I'm gonna go to the college night next Tuesday, May 12th at 5:30 in the auditorium. They're gonna be teaching you about the difference between 2-year colleges and 4-year colleges, technical universities, technical colleges. I mean, just technical colleges. There's no such thing as a technical university. But you know what? I don't care because I'm dry. Anyone is welcome. Juniors and families are encouraged. See Ms. Holdorf in the counseling office if you have questions.
Fine. Jeez, so mean.
I don't have questions about that because I know about it. And got an umbrella.
Fine. When I get back to Oshkosh, I'm gonna remind people participating in the fashion show that it will be at the Recreation Center at 2:45 p.m. Saturday. There.
Yeah? Well, when I get back, I'm gonna apply to be a North Outfitter manager. I don't need any prior experience, and it looks great on a resume or application to college.
Fine. When I get back, I want to go win some awesome prizes and play a fun game and participate in the Wisconsin Author Contest. I'm going to participate in that. I still can't talk. Each week, there will be a stack of clue cards by Mrs. Steffen in the Media Center. Use the cards to determine the title and author of the mystery book written by a Wisconsin author. Ooh, Wisconsin. Write your name, the title, and author on the back of the clue card and put in the submission box at the end of each week. There will be a drawing to determine the winner of that week. The contest starts May 4th and ends June 6th. There, fine. Happy? You know what? I'm gonna go back to Wisconsin. I'm gonna go back to Oshkosh right now. Screw you and your umbrella. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, we'll have fun there. Because I'm never going back. They didn't love me there. I'll be American Idol here instead!
Hey Oshkosh North, it's Miss Hoffman.
And Miss Goff here.
And we're here with eggs. Totally
Weird.
weird. Why would we have eggs?
No
what are you gonna do with
idea.
that egg?
We'll have to wait and find out.
Hey, so we've got a really, really exciting and engaging and very excellent, I'm so clever, fundraiser coming up starting next week. That is right, Oshkosh North is going to be doing the Egg Challenge.
We are.
I know, I feel like there should be dramatic music there. God, I hope they edit that in later.
Yeah, edit some music
okay,
in.
so the Egg Challenge, for those of you that don't know, it's been done on a couple of TV shows, including Jimmy Fallon, which is up past your bedtime, so none of you should be up watching that anyway, so you probably haven't seen it. But the basic premise is this. There's going to be a container of eggs. Some of them are hard-boiled, some are not. But you can't tell just by looking at it now, can you, Ms. Gauthier?
No, do you want to see how you figure
Not
out?
yet, not yet, not yet. We got to save that.
Okay.
We got to build the suspense, okay?
Sorry.
So you've got a container of eggs. Some are hard-boiled and some aren't. You take turns against your opponent choosing an egg. So I would choose an egg and then I would smash it on my head. And if it's hard-boiled, no big deal, right? Ha ha, hard-boiled egg. But if it's not, then that's a big mess. And it can be pretty amusing. So we thought you guys would maybe like to see this done by your teachers. I don't know, teachers smashing eggs on their heads. Is that worth some money to you guys? We feel like it probably is. So starting next week, there are going to be jars up in the media center, and you're going to vote with your money for who you want to see smashing eggs on their heads, much like that. So here's the deal. We're just going to have the jars out there. You're going to just vote with your spare change and dollar bills, whatever you want to throw in. It's kind of like penny wars, okay?
Here comes some jars.
Can you bring us some jars, Mr. Lee? Come on camera. Just bring us some jars. That's awesome.
Put the money in Mrs.
There's going to be
Hoffman's.
jars just like this, and there's going to be teacher and administrator names on there. And whoever gets the most money goes into the egg challenge bracket. That's right.
Oh,
this is
here
like
comes
March
another
Madness, but
contestant.
it's Maid Madness.
Oh!
That's what happens when it's a raw egg. Wow, that's really cold. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. If you want to know who you can vote for in this challenge.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm going to have to read this on
I want to
my
know.
laptop. Okay, obviously, Mrs. Schleicher, me, Mr. Bird, Miss
Yes.
Gauthier, Mrs. Frank, Mrs. Hartjes, Mrs. Hutchinson, Mr. Strahota, Mrs. Marquardt, Mrs. Holnagel, and Mr. Ruff, Mrs. Holdorf, Mrs. Ponchak, Mrs. Hensel, and Mrs. Martin, Mr. Vanden Bogard, Miss Stanislawski, Miss Anderson, and Mrs. Stife. These are all the teacher volunteers who are ready to go in the egg challenge, but they're not going to do it unless you pay up, okay? So we're going to set up a bracket for the winners who raise the most money, and then we will be recording the egg challenge,
Not yet.
and you can see it on TV9 so that everyone's got an
Excellent.
up-close seat. So we'll see who the champions are going to be.
Absolutely. I would like to also challenge Officer Brandel to get on the list.
Oh, that would
Officer
be good.
Brandel, I'd love to go against you in the egg challenge.
Don't-
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey Oshkosh North, it's Mrs. Hoffman. I'm here to tell you about the wonders of sophomore testing. That's right. Freshmen are just finishing up the ACT Aspire. Most of them are done. A couple of them were absent, so they're still making it up. And sophomores, you're on deck, okay? So next week is going to be sophomore ACT Aspire testing. Sophomores, this is a new test for you, okay? It's computer-based. Normally you've just taken the paper and pencil test before, but this one is computer-based. And you're going to be testing for some days next week. You're going to be getting a gold schedule that looks a lot like this in your second hour class. They're going to pass it out, you're going to look at it, and it's going to tell you who you're testing with, where you're testing, what hours, and what days. So some of you are going to test a couple of hours on Monday, some of you will test a couple of hours on Tuesday, some of you will be on Thursday. You're going to be on 2 of those 3 days. Okay, so like this particular student is going to be testing with Mrs. Beertzer as their proctor. They're going to be testing on Monday, the 11th, 3 hours in the lower computer lab, and then Tuesday the 12th, 3 hours again in the lower computer lab, and then they're not testing at all on Thursday. So 2 of the 3 days, plan on testing some of those times if you're a sophomore, okay? Couple of reminders. You need to remember to show up for that test, otherwise I'm gonna be hunting you down for a makeup test. And trust me, it's not any more fun in the makeup testing than it is in the regular. So you wanna just do the regular and get it over with. Make sure you're on time, you're where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. Bring a pencil with you to the test. And you may not have or use your cell phone or any other electronic device during the test. So you're either going to need to give that phone or device to the proctor, your teacher, or you're going to just zip it into your backpack and then put your backpack up in the corner of the room. So keep that in mind during testing as well. Keep in mind that these tests do not affect your grades in any way, shape, or form. However, the data that you are going to be getting from this test is very valuable. When you are a junior, you're going to be taking the ACT, and that's going to help determine whether or not you can get into that college that you want to get into. ACT Aspire is a test that gives you a predicted score for your ACT. So it tells you the things that you need to work on in order to get into that dream college. So it is actually really important that you do well, okay? So sophomore testing is going to be next week. Everybody else, remember that the hallways need to be quiet during testing, and we're going to probably block off that central spiral staircase again, just so that the sophomores who are testing are not disturbed, okay? So that is next week. Lots of fun coming up. That's all I have about testing. Have a good day.
Hi, student council members. Just a reminder that we have a meeting this Friday on the 8th, 7:45, LRC, as usual. We'll be discussing all things homecoming, and come on down so we can sign up for committees and get next year rolling.
영원한 건 절대 없어. 결국엔 넌 변했지. 이유도 없어. 진심이 없어. 사랑 같은 소리 따윈 집어쳐. 지금이 벌써부터 느껴져. Make 'em say yeah, yeah, yeah. 기분이 좋네. 어디를 돌아봐도 모두 웃는 얼굴로 놀고 있어. 음악을 느껴 baby 머물러. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 기분이 좋네. 멈추지 마라. 오늘 밤은 끝까지 가자.
Everyone, this storm will pass, just as all the rainy days in your life will eventually pass. This has been TV9.
All the memories left by the day, I'm questioning why as you look to the sky.